Venison, often regarded as one of the leanest and most nutrient-dense meats, is a popular choice for those following the carnivore diet. Its reputation as a natural, wild game meat offers an attractive option for carnivores looking for a high-quality source of protein and fat without the concerns associated with farmed meats. Venison is lower in fat than many domestically raised animals and is rich in essential nutrients like iron, zinc, and B vitamins. While it certainly seems like a great choice for a healthy, meat-based diet, there are several potential concerns and risks associated with regularly consuming venison, especially in the context of a restrictive carnivore lifestyle. One of the primary considerations when consuming venison regularly is the risk of nutrient imbalances due to the restrictive nature of the carnivore diet. While venison provides a high-quality source of protein and important minerals like iron, it lacks the variety of nutrients that are found in plant-based foods, such as fiber, antioxidants, and various essential vitamins like vitamin C. The absence of these plant-based nutrients can lead to long-term health consequences, including digestive issues, weakened immune function, and vitamin deficiencies. For example, the carnivore diet's lack of fiber, found abundantly in fruits, vegetables, and grains, can result in constipation, bloating, and other digestive discomforts. Without the diverse array of nutrients provided by plant foods, the body may also struggle to perform optimally in the long run, leading to a weakened immune system and a higher susceptibility to illness. Despite venison being lower in fat than other types of red meat, it is still relatively high in protein, and an overabundance of protein can pose a potential risk to individuals following the carnivore diet. Excessive protein intake can put undue stress on the kidneys over time, especially for individuals with pre-existing kidney conditions or those who are genetically predisposed to kidney problems. The body's ability to process the byproducts of protein metabolism, such as nitrogen, can overwhelm the kidneys, leading to damage and impaired function. Consuming venison along with other animal-based products on the carnivore diet can exacerbate this strain, as the diet's emphasis on protein and fat leaves little room for foods that could mitigate this burden. Another concern is that wild game meats, including venison, can carry an increased risk of exposure to environmental contaminants. Wild animals are exposed to various toxins, pollutants, and diseases that may not be present in farmed animals, depending on their environment. While venison from properly sourced, ethically hunted animals can be free from hormones and antibiotics, it may still carry the risk of contaminants, such as heavy metals or parasites. For example, venison may harbor diseases like chronic wasting disease, CWD, which affects cervids like deer and elk. While there is no direct evidence that CWD can be transmitted to humans, consuming contaminated meat is not without risk, and those who hunt or source their venison need to be especially cautious when handling and preparing the meat. The high iron content of venison, while beneficial in moderate amounts, can also be a double-edged sword. Excessive iron intake can lead to a condition called hemochromatosis, where the body accumulates too much iron, potentially causing damage to the liver, heart, and pancreas. While this is generally more of a concern for individuals with a genetic predisposition to hemochromatosis, it's still something to keep in mind for those consuming large amounts of venison regularly. In the context of the carnivore diet, where iron intake can be disproportionately high from red meats, the risk of iron overload may be more pronounced, especially if other sources of iron-rich foods are not limited or balanced with other nutrient-rich options. Additionally, venison can sometimes be tough and difficult to digest, particularly for those unaccustomed to consuming wild game. The meat of a wild animal is typically leaner and more muscular than that of farmed animals, which can make it more fibrous and tougher to chew. For individuals with digestive issues or those who have difficulty breaking down protein-rich foods, venison may cause discomfort or digestive upset, particularly if consumed in large quantities. The rich, dense texture of venison, while flavorful, can lead to overconsumption of protein, exacerbating the risks associated with high-protein diets and placing unnecessary strain on the digestive system. There is also the issue of venison's availability and cost. While it may be a desirable meat option for those on the carnivore diet, venison is often not as easily accessible as more common meats like beef, pork, or chicken. Sourcing wild venison requires hunting, which is not feasible for everyone, and the price of farmed venison can be prohibitively high compared to conventionally raised meats. For individuals who rely heavily on venison as their primary source of animal protein, the cost and availability can be a significant barrier, leading to inconsistent intake of the meat. This lack of accessibility could encourage individuals to revert to less healthy options or consume venison less frequently, which may disrupt the consistency of the carnivore diet and result in nutrient gaps. Furthermore, the environmental impact of hunting and sourcing wild game should not be overlooked. While wild game like venison is often considered a more sustainable option than factory-farmed meat, hunting itself can have environmental consequences, especially if it is not done in a responsible and sustainable manner. Overhunting or the disruption of local ecosystems can negatively affect wildlife populations, and habitat destruction associated with hunting practices can contribute to biodiversity loss. For those who follow the carnivore diet with an emphasis on ethical food sourcing, the environmental footprint of hunting should be considered and balanced with sustainable practices. Lastly, while venison can be a lean and nutrient-rich option, its preparation often involves high-fat cooking methods, such as roasting or slow cooking with oils or fats to tenderize the meat. This can lead to an increase in the overall calorie content of the dish, which might undermine the goals of those on the carnivore diet who are attempting to control their calorie intake or achieve a specific body composition. Additionally, the flavor profile of venison, while distinct and appealing to some, may not be enjoyable to all, and overconsumption of the meat can lead to food fatigue, making it harder to maintain long-term adherence to a diet that relies heavily on animal-based foods. In conclusion, while venison offers a lean, nutrient-dense option for those on the carnivore diet, it comes with several potential drawbacks that should be considered. The high protein content, while beneficial in some cases, can place strain on the kidneys, especially when consumed in excess. The potential for environmental contaminants and diseases, the risk of iron overload, and the difficulty in sourcing and affording venison regularly all present challenges for those who rely on it as a primary source of nutrition. The restrictive nature of the carnivore diet, combined with the lack of variety and essential nutrients found in plant-based foods, can also lead to long-term health issues, including digestive problems and nutrient deficiencies. While venison can certainly be enjoyed in moderation, it should not be relied upon exclusively or consumed in excess, as it may contribute to negative health outcomes over time.